resistance. It's Alice Jones.
Come on.
This is the national...
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening beyond a normal state. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
Intruder alert.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening beyond a normal state. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
It was July 27th, 1953, more than a half century ago, that the armistice was signed with Kim Jong-un's grandfather on the Korean Peninsula. Never before has there been such a giant Chinese, Japanese, U.S., South Korean, Russian group of armadas. That's 5 different task force groups, 5 different nations. There's 2 different U.S. task force groups alone. So that's 6 different groups total. There in the South China Sea, in between Japan, North Korea, and Japan. Kim Jong-un, raised in Switzerland, the hereditary dictator, has now miniaturized nuclear weapons, has now put them atop intercontinental ballistic missiles, and has been threatening to attack Seoul, South Korea, Tokyo, Japan, Los Angeles, California, Chicago, Illinois. And it's been confirmed in their ballistic tests they've done themselves by the Japanese, the United States, and North Korea that it can hit areas easily as far afield as Chicago, Illinois. Now, I'm not a person that ever promotes wars, but it is the United States in 1945 that dropped atomic bombs, Little Boy and Fat Man, on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, respectively. It is the United States that invented the nuclear weapons or the atomic weapons. And the United States invented that in 1944, used it in 45, and I will assure you, this thing's a lot more sophisticated. That's what adds to the hubris of Washington, one of our biggest problems. But there's hubris as well in a place that can't even produce automobiles, feed their people, and it's North Korea. Trump has come out and said, quote, North Korea best not make any more threats to the U.S. The president said they will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He's been threatening beyond a normal state. He continued referring to apparently North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, who is threatening nuclear war and strikes on Japan, Seoul, South Korea, and the United States. And some will say, hey, it's a globalist detonator for World War III, let's not do this. And I see their perspective. The problem is the United States last Thursday, and again on Sunday, and again yesterday, 3 separate times, in diplomatic communiques and publicly, said, let's talk, let's de-escalate this, let's stop the threats. Kim Jong-un, a man that can't even find his own penis, a man who can't even wipe his own ass, a nobody, a scumbag, a hereditary dictator, is now poised and responds, I have miniaturized weapons, I'll nuke you, I'll destroy the U.S., and told Japan now yesterday, about 12 hours ago our time, but yesterday Japan time, we're going to destroy Tokyo with nuclear weapons. We're going to just go ahead and we're going to destroy you. So they're only a few hundred kilometers away, and they say, we have nuclear weapons. I am a giant demonic fat chipmunk, while people starve around me all over the place. I am going to nuke you as I wear a $100,000 paddock around my little fat demonic wrist. So, that's the way these people operate. And he's got a total cult of crazy people around him. He's not even under the control of China now. So let's be clear. The big elephant in the room is William Jefferson Clinton and Hillary Rodham Clinton in the mid-90s giving the ICBM technology, the delivery systems, the mobile systems, and the fissile material via the reactors, when they could have given them 6 or 7 other designs that you couldn't produce nukes with. They gave them that material. Why? 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 Strategic tension, whatever you want to call it. They did that. And then here's Trump 20 years later. There isn't even mainline analysts saying this is his fault. Trying to deal with this. I don't want war with North Korea. But it is an incredibly authoritarian regime. And their big mistake was threatening Japan with a strike for them daring to support the UN in further sanctions against them when they're the ones making threats.
Said that,
did you call Aunt Franny?
I called her.
North Korea
While I was
is the
on the phone
most
with
hellish,
her?
No.
insane asylum on earth. And
Okay.
criminals in our
She
government
said
are
she hasn't been
So
able
I'd
to
love to
call me for
de-escalate
some
this,
reason.
but I'd also love to see the
Let's
North
take
Korean
it
people
through.
somewhat free. South Korea,
Did you call her just now?
Yes.
highest
Right.
output and highest industrial capacity on earth. They have one of the richest populations in the world, and there are their genetic brethren to the north living in cloud cuckooville crazy. Another example of big government, of socialism, of communism, everything that's being promoted here. Here's the headline. This is from the Associated Press. It's from Yahoo News as well. North Korea threatens physical action over new UN sanctions. North Korea now making missile-ready nuclear weapons, U.S. analysts say. That's Washington Post. North Korean nuclear threat at a new stage, warns Japan, as they threaten to attack Japan. Isn't that friendly? North Korea alarms neighbors considering deploying deadlier weapons. China has a huge fleet and task force out there in the ocean. It's been since July 27th, 1953, since the ceasefire was signed, and we're dealing with the god of government, another delusional nobody who couldn't even get a date at the high school prom, who couldn't run a janitorial service, who couldn't take his kids to school, who couldn't perform on a soccer field or a baseball field, who couldn't work at McDonald's, another addled, insane person running things, this human weakness we have. And then we ask ourselves, what do we do? North Korea has been ripening for decades. And right as Donald Trump comes in, the globalists that have got their people in there manipulating them, are clearly trying to push them into some larger confrontation. You go back to the missile maps from 6 months ago, they could only hit Hawaii. But now, according to North Korea's own trajectories, they can hit as far east or west, depending on how you look at it, as Chicago. But that isn't what really matters. It's that Kim Jong-un is saying, I will attack you. I will kill you. I will nuke you. I will do this. I will do that. And he wonders as the world begins to build momentum against him.
Why? Why would Kim Jong-un come out and say, I have all of this and I'm going to use it? Why? Why? Who is giving us this information? Where did we get this info? I know Trump got it, but who did Trump gave it to Trump? President Trump. I don't know.
Man, he thinks that the United States that beat the British Empire and that dropped atomic bombs on Japan and that met with the Russians to kill 20 million Germans, 22 million Germans, and that was a third of the population. I mean, the U.S. and Russia did most of it, killed like a third of the Germans. I mean, it's not like we're scared to kill people. And I mean, we sit here and we look at this guy that's been feeding on his own people. For all America's evils, at least we developed technology and roads and medicine and tried to build a civilization. I mean, hell, we've got better TV than state-run North Korean television, and I'm just the outlying patriot broadcaster. North Korea can't produce a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. So people ask where I stand on all this. I know North Korea has been used as the nuclear trigger to bring in World War III by the globalists. We should get Joel Skousen on tomorrow. We should be calling him right now for the weekday show, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And yeah, maybe Kim Jong-un's got 10 or 15 nukes. Maybe he can shoot a few into the atmosphere. Maybe they come back into trajectory and maybe hit the city or so. I personally doubt that. Probably just blow up in the atmosphere and radiate the whole planet. But China has used them as a trigger and used them as a control point and used them as a pretext for tension and used them as a pawn, a bargaining chip. And China has been nebulous which side they're on. And Russia shares a border with North Korea and has been somewhat supportive lately. Has said North Korea is out of control, but has also said the U.S. should back off and not be as threatening. And you have to understand, this isn't some deal where you get up here on air and go, oh, let's nuke them, let's blow them up. I want to sound tough. It's not like you're talking about, hey, let's run the blitz on offense or defense and let's win the football game.
Yeah.
This is the real world with our families, our children, and humanity that's developed technologies like mythical Atlantis. Atlantis, whether it existed or not, out in the Atlantic Ocean, outside the Mediterranean, developed a technology that was so advanced that they couldn't control it and destroy their civilization in a giant explosion. Whether you believe that Atlantis existed or not, we are the new Atlantis. We have weapons that can destroy the whole planet over and over again. Probably weapons that can destroy the whole solar system. If you think 1900 equations for atomic bombs that destroyed whole Japanese cities in seconds are as far as we've gone, while you think calculators and automobiles don't exist. But things are spiraling out of control. And I just hope that a little degenerate, inbred, hereditary elitist like Kim Jong-un doesn't end up being the detonator that brings down our civilization and brings down our world. But if you just tuned in, let me announce to you, because every time North Korea threatens nuclear war or China threatens something, or I put the news out and the fake news says, oh, Jones just made this up. No, Trump came out just about an hour ago and said North Korea best not make any more threats to the U.S. I want to play his full statement if we can. From North Korea, they will be met with fire and fury.
He did. He said it.
Like the world has never seen. He has been threatening beyond a normal state. Yeah, it's not like saber rattling. It's, we're going to blow up Tokyo. We're going to blow up Seoul. We're going to blow up L.A. It's like, really? And the U.S. goes, okay, let's go to the meeting table. What do you want? I'm going to nuke you. I'm going to blow up Tokyo, too. And that was on Friday. They go, please stop, Dad. Let's talk about what you want. I'm gonna nuke you. I got missiles. I'm gonna blow you up. And I'm like, he's like, China backs me. I'm gonna have nuclear war. I'm like, no, that's put the gun down. We got like all these weapons pointed right at him. And now the president says fire and fury. I mean, the declassified weapons they had in the 60s are, I've looked at the square miles with weapons they had in the 60s, 14, 15 neutron bombs detonated at about 2,000 feet above, just geographically spaced out areas of North Korea. You'll kill everyone in North Korea in 5 minutes. And they've got those weapons. They've got bombs. They've got cruise missiles. They've got missiles. They've got space-based systems with 1960s technology. X-ray lasers in space. I mean, it goes on from there. And if they've got neutron bombs that send out a radiation burst, and it'll kill people in bunkers. And that's what Trump means by fire and fury. Because here's the thing, North Korea has so many artillery weapons, so many missiles, and then now nukes, is that they'll have their cult members roll out and 30-something miles away, Seoul, South Korea, they'll fire their artillery 100,000 pieces, and they'll do all this. The only way to stop them from their blackmail is to hit them with a neutron bomb. And you've got to look at, and I'll show you, I mean, I'll draw an analogy of this. Here's China, and here's Russia, and here's the Korean Peninsula. You got Japan over here, and here's the DMZ. And you got all this artillery and weapons lined up here to destroy Seoul, South Korea. Well, all you do is you just detonate. And let me tell you, you don't want to be close to the DMZ when these neutron bombs go off. You just detonate some there, and you just hit some of the capital cities. Neutron bombs take care of it. What is that, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, you want to make sure for some deep bunkers, you go ahead and do some neutrons, like, let's do 20. Let's just take the capital. Let's hit it with, say, let's hit their missile bases, say, with 10. So, and each one goes wider. Like, when they start real close, they go wider, wider, wider. That's how the computers work. And then, let's hit your capital. And they hit that. And they got stockpiles of tens of thousands of them. And they've got months of aircraft carriers and weapon ships. And the Japanese have got more nukes than Santa Claus. Oh, yeah, Japan's armed out the ass. They're all right here. And what happens when they just start going, it's going to be a free-for-all. And then if China, the big threat is China gets in, or Russia over here, it's not a good situation. Because if Russia over here jumps in, or China jumps in, or any of this, it's just a nightmare. But who's doing it? It's Kim Jong-un. Maybe we could, say we're going to give you $2 billion, and you can marry Dennis Rodman. We bought Dennis Rodman off. He can be your lover. Like when you guys hang out together in North Korea. But Dennis Rodman, you find so sexy. An old, burnout, drug addict, crazy person. It's perfect for you. Like you little, here. What if we get Dennis Rodman, we pay you $2 billion, he's given $1 billion to be your wife. And then we can stop all this. Because everybody wants to blame America. And I get America is not perfect, but we didn't start the Korean War. We didn't start World War II. And we know Kim Jong-un wants Dennis Rodman in that hot, sexy blonde outfit. I mean, who wouldn't? We'll give that to you, we just don't destroy the earth. But this is where we are. We make jokes about it. This is where we are as a society and as a culture. And he's threatening Japan. He's threatening South Korea. He's threatening everybody. And the president, let's play the clip from President Trump is saying, you'll be met with nuclear destruction. You'll be met with fire and fury. This is after we've tried to go to the meeting table with him again. I mean, Trump even said I'd meet with Kim Jong-un. That only made Kim Jong-un, who needs an electron microscope to find his ding-ding, act like he was even more powerful. Here it is.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening beyond a normal state. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
We've not used these weapons since 1945. Yeah, the likes of which we've never seen before. I mean, when you look at Trump, it's like they got space-based weapons and cruise missiles and submarines and aircraft carriers with enough stuff to destroy the planet 10 times over. And you've got some crazy, weird, fat Asian dude who, like, is the only fat person with all these starving people around him. And it's like, China, kill him. Dude, he likes Dennis Rodman. I mean, we make jokes about this. What the hell? This is the most unintentional comedy I have ever seen. Some force-fed gerbil creature is like threatening to nuke everybody, and no one's going to put up with this in South Korea or Japan. This is a joke. But his granddaddy took over and then had a war with the South to take over with the Chinese. So we stood up against him. So 70 years later, there's a crazy person there. And now they want to, and then like people say, oh, our president's out of control. He should roll over. We've already said, okay, we'll come to the table. What do you want, dumbass? He goes, I'll nuke you. I got nukes. I'll nuke you. And we're like, just stop. As the weapons all getting placed down. Now we're going to kill you now. He's like, I have submarines. I'll attack L.A. That's what he said last week. Okay, well, we're tracking those. We know you may have a nuke on board one. Okay, we don't think the missile will work, but we're paying attention to you now. We've got snipers on you right now. Please stop. No. I'm James Bond. I'm Kim Jong-un. So I think tonight we should pray for peace. And just look at these poor slaves. If they grovel harder to him, they get more food. Oh, it's like a bunch of... You've seen the videos of like little rhesus monkeys, and they like run up and jump on the leader, like, you know, or like videos of Hitler with all his little minions around him, like clawing at Hitler. And I mean, put that back on screen. I mean, this is how you've got to act, completely groveling and subservient to Kim Jong-un. And you know, and oh, I'm going to blow up some Japanese ships now. Oh, you've got to do, oh, leader. That was when Kim Jong-il died. And only if you kiss their ass all day, like you kiss ass, you get new coat once 10 years. You get 1,000 calories per day of your worship. Oh, sir, you're so go back to the photo you showed where they're like holding his arms when he sits there. I mean, this is pathetic. People go, don't make the Saturday Night Live jokes. I will be John Belushi when he's like the samurai chopping stuff up. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny because the guy has nuclear weapons and is so delusional. He's got a total cult of like hale-bop lunatics under him, ready to start a nuclear war, and then we have our reality TV star challenging you. Maybe this is a Matrix simulation. Maybe this is a joke. If you look at Hitler, everyone says he's so powerful and cool. You know, even the liberals, he's like in a little diaper outfit, little pot-bellied guy with a stupid mustache that looks like he just blew 10 guys in some gas station. I mean, you know, it's the same thing with this Dennis Rodman weirdo. I mean, it's just like, what's up with little pot-bellied demon people we're worshiping Kim Jong-un, Hitler, the unintentional comedy? Is funny until you realize how dangerous that the Clintons are. Who could make, here, let's give reactors that make atomic bomb material. Who does this? Who gives them this? Gives them the missiles, and then Newsweek, Time, CNN, Alex Jones is the #1 danger to America. And then President Trump is a close second. And I'm just here saying we have a president having to threaten fire and fury and power against a guy that no one would take on a date. No one would hire unless it was like a toilet attendant. You ever been in a weird bathroom and there's a guy that like gives you a sweet smell stuff in your hands and hands you a towel for $1? And you're like, it's like, you know, this guy doesn't rise the level of toilet attendant, but that's who evil gets to serve it. So we've now come to this level. I'm going to stop. Notice how the leadership's all fat. Everybody else is starving to death. This is sick. This is what we've reached. So if you just tuned in, the president's threatened fire and fury. This North Korea is threatening to nuke everybody. And I just hope we're all here tomorrow. But what I think this signifies to get serious is, take that I should say this up front. I should have said this up front. That means, what does all this mean in my little computation? Japan's ready for war. South Korea's ready for war. Russia says they're going to stand down. China says they're going to stand down. They've already been in big sanctions in North Korea. And they realize that Trump is ready to move. And I believe that Kim Jong-un got the message, didn't back down because he's in such deep megalomania. I love how they speed the time up on this like 3 times. They can make sloths look powerful. Oh my God. Anyways, if North Korea was superior, they could produce their own automobiles. Or they could produce a leader better than Kim Jong-un, who won't even let somebody above 5'3" be in a photo shoot. But I don't want North Korea to burn. I just want our own so-called elites to stop betting against our president and betting against our stock market and betting against us getting better jobs because they hijacked America and parlayed it to take over the world and China. Trump's even letting you get out of a jail free card. You got all your stolen money. Just stop trying to sabotage everybody else's prosperity and stop allying with foreign enemies, and all's forgiven. But you can't stop because a lot of the people that run this country grew up hating flyover country, and they existentially want to mount our head on the wall. So that's why they can't stop. Now, we're going to suspend the nightly news for about 3 or 4 months because we're going to launch David Knight's show in about a week and a half, and then Roger Stone and Mike Cernovitz's show with Owen Schroyer in about September 4th. And then we're going to launch some other shows. We're going to bring Nightly News back. But Nightly News is coming up better than ever in about 2 hours at Infowars.com/show on all the streams and for PrisonPlanet.tv members. And I believe we're not going to have war here. I believe the cooler heads will prevail. But in the 60-plus year history since 1953, July 27th, we've not been this close to war. And we're dealing with a country of whatever it is. 14, 20 million, what's the population? I'm going from memory. North Korea, a bunch of hell-bop cult people under communist brainwashing. And you could take the very same Koreans and have the richest, most productive people on earth under a little bit of freedom. It's a perfect example of how communism and socialism only works for like one Kim Jong-un and his fat generals. A couple hundred generals can waddle around and go, oh, yeah, nuke you. Oh. Bill Clinton, we give you 20 million. You'll give us missile. Huh? Bill's like, you're evil and horrible. Here's the nukes, my little sweetie. Because they resonate on the same demonic, evil wavelength. Whatever it is, it's happening. So, that's what this comes down to. So, we're approaching 5 o'clock Central in 3 minutes. I'm going to end this transmission with a special report I followed a week and a half ago, or about a week ago, live from the further, most westerly part of the United States, meeting the East, Kauai, at the strategic nuke anti-missile base. And then please pray for America, pray for the world, pray for the slaves of North Korea, and the cooler heads prevail. We've never heard such strong language out of a president than we just heard today. Unfortunately, the average video game playing American probably thinks Kim Jong-un is a hero and that Trump's bad. Thanks to Google, but we'll continue to try to get the word out and stop this crisis from escalating. Please pray for InfoWars, pray for Trump, pray for North Korea, pray for the whole world. And I want to thank the crew for the great work they've done. Let's go ahead and end this transmission with our special report from Hawaii.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening beyond a normal statement. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
Breaking developments involving North Korea. Tonight they have launched an intercontinental ballistic missile, and this evening experts now saying that this missile went higher and further than before.
Kim Jong-un claims they are now able to hit the entire United States at any time. Are we in range?
Is it that simple?
Yeah, we probably are. And if we're not, we will be in range in a month or two.
Looks like this thing can go about 10,000 kilometers. That means from North Korea they could hit most of the United States. So they finally done it.
The world is in shock after yesterday's successful launch of an ICBM by North Korea's dictator Kim Jong-un. He had previously threatened that he had missiles that were able to hit the U.S. mainland, including places like Chicago. And now NASA, as well as Japanese authorities, have looked at the trajectory of yesterday's test missile and confirmed it can hit most of the United States and maybe even New York City all the way on the East Coast. On top of all of this, Kim Jong-un is now threatening to nuke the United States, as well as attacking U.S. carrier task force strike groups that are in the Pacific Ocean.
Why would someone do that?
We're here in Hawaii, which had previously been the closest area of the United States that Kim Jong-un had proven that he could hit. Now we're about to drive to the other side of the island to show you the United States Pacific Missile Defense Center that has supersonic interceptor missiles able to shoot down not just Kim Jong-un's ICBMs, but also Russia's and China's.
Intruder alert.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
We're here at the Pacific Missile Range. This is the furthest western island, major inhabited island of the Hawaiian chain, Kauai. And on the western edge of this, we are standing on the furthest western piece of U.S. territory. Just a few thousand miles away is the island of Japan. And then, of course, North Korea is just southwest of there. North Korea now has long-range missiles, reportedly, that can hit areas of Alaska and Hawaii, and that are reportedly trained on the island of Kauai, where we're standing here today. Incredibly fast interceptor missiles, anti-missile missiles, can be fired from this facility at reportedly over Mach 5. Of course, a lot of their speeds are classified. Some estimations are they have missiles that can go Mach 6, Mach 7, and then go up and intercept an ICBM or other missile fired from North Korea. Now, of course, there's also nuclear weapons clearly stationed here. And down the road, there are missile silos that can fire ICBMs and other systems. So this is one of the main missile bases protecting the United States, not just from North Korea, but also from Russia and the big threat, communist China. And that's why it makes me so angry to see the Clintons calling Trump a traitor and saying that he somehow has violated our national security, all this made-up crap, when it's the Clintons in the mid-1990s that transferred, via Laurel and Hughes, the entire system for long-range ICBMs and helped the communist Chinese get their long march off the ground and into space and then back into re-entry with the MIRV technology. So from the launch technology to the guidance to the re-entry devices to warhead miniaturization, our government under the Clintons traitorously transferred that to China, who then gave it to North Korea. And the Clintons directly gave nuclear reactors that can produce atomic bombs to North Korea as well. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. They could have given them other reactors in the deals, but they couldn't have made the fissile material. This is the true real-world treason. And there is no statute of limitations on that. And that's why Attorney General Sessions needs to go after them for the real crimes they've committed. As a father of 4 children, as someone who loves my family but also loves being alive and loves living in a free country, it makes me sick to see this leftover of the communist era, this failure, this little pig-like, goblin-like demon, this little nobody, this man-child with nuclear weapons and missiles to deliver them because of the globalists, because of Bill and Hillary Clinton. Even mainstream media admits they literally are responsible for all of it. These people are a plague upon our country. They have sold us out to everyone. They have sold us out to every authoritarian they could because they have kinship with other authoritarians. It's their spirit. They hate America. They hate Christians. They hate bitter clingers. They hate flyover country. And now our entire nation and the world is in danger of thermonuclear war because of their evil. And MSM is somehow blaming Trump for what's happening with Kim Jong-un. a third-generation dictator now threatening to preemptively strike the United States and pushing Trump to move in the next few months. And I'm betting Trump will move against North Korea because we have no other choice.
Hello, friends, and thank you for your support. We couldn't do it without you. Freedom of speech is under attack. The elites and radical left are trying to stifle and squash our right to say what we want. They're going after Fox News, Sean Hannity, and others in his network trying to silence them. These same elites and radical left are now going after alternative channels like Not Fake News. Recently, left-leaning big companies like Verizon and AT&T and a long list of others got together and held a boycott against YouTube, saying they didn't want their advertisements on videos like ours. What's wrong with our videos? Well, YouTube responded on March 27, 2017 by cutting the money of creators like Not Fake News by a whopping 95%. Friends, I don't have to tell you what happens to a business that doesn't have an income. And that's exactly what they wanted. They want us to stop making videos. They want to kill your right to hear the truth. What's next if they succeed? Burning books in the library? I just heard they stopped and banned Milo Yiannopoulos' book Dangerous on Amazon for a while. I mean, what's next? Burning the books in the library? What are we doing? Who will you go to for the real news if Fox is silenced and alternative channels are forced gone? Well, they're gone. They're forced out. Will you go to CNN? Will you go to ABC? Will you go to NBC? Do you believe anything they say anymore? Don't let them kill your freedom of speech. The only way for alternative channels like Not Fake News to survive is through small donations from loyal viewers like you. YouTube can take their money. Big companies, they can pull their damn ads. But if every one of our subscribers gave $1 or $5 or $10 a month, they would never, ever be able to stop us. Freedom of speech, folks, is truly under attack. Please support this channel, Not Fake News. Go to patreon.com/notfakenews. The link is in the description below. You are the resistance if you're listening to this transmission. Thank you.